Hello everybody, CW here. Oh, we're on the range and we're not alone, so we got some noise, so excuse the noise. We got the 8mm out and we got those 170 grain SSTs that we're going to try. I got a full ladder. I think I got about 6 or 7 loads. So we're going to shoot at 100 yards and I'm going to put you in speedy mode and then we'll come back and check the target out. And maybe the best one will run over the chronograph before we run out for targets. Stand by. All right, we fired six loads. No, we didn't. We fired 4 loads. Fired 4 loads. And being a little bit warmer, the barrel's getting warm, so I don't want to push it anymore. It's about as warm as I can touch, so we're just going to let it cool down. Nothing spectacular, but I was a little bit speedy. I should have fired off a few fouling loads because I just cleaned this barrel too, and it's not fair to judge accuracy on a clear bore, clean barrel, you know. So that first one, we'll kind of take it into consideration. But it's not atrocious, but it's probably pushing 2 inches. Also very high and a little bit to the left. So I'm not so much worried about being to the left, but it was pretty high, so I pulled it down a couple of inches. I don't know that we're going to make it to the top load. If you remember the video, this one here was the 170 SST that I was allowed to seat really long. So I pushed above max, assuming that that extra powder capacity would give me room for more powder. And I'm just watching pressures. Everything's fine now. I'm just watching pressures, but I got a feeling I won't make it to the top load to be safe. But we'll see when we get there. We have, I think, 4 loads left. So we'll see what we get. Stand by. Okay, she's cooled off. Let's shoot a few more rounds. All right, I got a feeling I filmed that on slow motion, which means you guys are not going to see it. Didn't mean to do that, but uneventful. You know what I'm doing. I'm just shooting the last 4 loads here. So I got to the top. We did start to see some pressures, but the bolt lift was always fine. I did notice a little bit louder noise, and I did notice some more muzzle flash, but the primers looked about the same from about halfway up. So I'm not too worried about what I've got here for pressures. I would load that top load again. So let's fire that top one over the chronograph. I'll move you over and then we'll walk out and look what those targets look like. Nothing special. I'll probably average about 2-inch groups, but nothing crazy. But I did see a shift left and right. So I want to look at my bedding because usually that's a bedding issue. I thought this was really good with bedding, but apparently something's going on. So I think what's in order here is I pull this out of the stock and I bed this action into that stock and see what we get. All right, let's do some velocity tests. Just run one over the chronograph. Stand by. This is my top loading. The red primer. Sorry, it's blurry. I'll let you look at all these cartridges here in a second. Take it off 12 power. We'll go back down to 3. And we'll fire it through the chronograph and see what we get here. Are you ready? Here we go. Oh my goodness, what a flinch. What a flinch. That looks like 2666 to me. Yeah, 2666. That was the top load. But this is like a 20-inch barrel. So that's probably a good part of that reason. Usually standard Mauser military barrels are 23.5 or so. All right, let's look at these cases and go down and check the target. Right, here we are at 100 yards. Told you they were nothing great. Let's go through them here. Here's the lightest load. This is the 8mm at 100 yards, 170 grain SST. So, realistically, it's not awful. It's 1.25 inches, inch and a half, maybe. I don't think it's quite 1.5 inches, 1 3/8. Not awful. That's the starting load. Next load up, see it climbed a little bit, got a little bit of a string to it. Barrel was heating up, and all of a sudden it was down here. And then it continued over here, but it was lower. So we're starting to change things, whether it was the heat. I'm thinking I've got a little bit of bedding, like I said, a little bit of bedding issues going on. And then we let it cool, and then I moved it to the right. I didn't change elevation, I moved it to the right. I'm sorry. Okay, back up. I shot these two, then I pulled it down. I didn't move it left or right, I just pulled it down. So from here to here is me. I pulled it down. Still to the left, pretty centered up and down, not bad. A little bit to the left, not bad. More pronounced to the left, but I pulled it down, so I could have had a little shift in the scope. In all fairness, I could have had a little shift in the scope. Here's the next group, 1, 2, 3. We let it cool, so we got four shots, then we shot 4 shots. So we let it cool. This is a cold barrel. Coming back, we shot this one here first, and then these two. So this shift is the gun, the bedding. Something's going on. That shift shouldn't be there. It's only under 2 inches, 1 3/4 inches, but still it's there. Then we shot this group, more to the right again. No shift change, no sight change. And then we shot this one. Look at here. We're to the right, we're centered. So, it's shifting around. And the only thing that's changed is 1/2 grain of powder. And then the maximum load, it's over there. So it's back to the right again. So there's something going on that we're not seeing, or I'm not seeing. And part of it's barrel heating up, but ultimately the barrel heating up is causing the action to move, the barrel to move in the action. Now the barrel's not touching anything in the barrel channel. So it's the barreled action in the stock that's moving. I'm gonna have to pull it apart and look and see. Now, nothing's awful. It's all, deer killing accuracy. This gun is never going to see more than 200 yards. So you double that at 200 yards and you're still on your fist, or just about on a softball. You kill every deer you'd ever seen. So, but we want to see more like that. If I had to take one of these loads at face value, it would be this third one in, whatever that is. And I would expound upon that. But this one's not awful. It's just a shift. Not atrocious. Not really atrocious. The first one's not atrocious. That one's not atrocious. But they're just 3-shot groups. What would 5 do? I don't know. So we're just trying to find a node here, and there's really nothing going on. We got no pressure signs to speak of, and no standouts in accuracy, but no real bad stuff either. Other than we can see that we got a bedding issue. So there we go. That's what we got today. That's the story with this 100-yard, 8mm, 170 SST load. Next we're going to try the 180 grain Nosler ballistic tips, maybe with the same powder. That would be a good one. Same powder, same overall length. It's a very similar bullet. Let's see what the difference is with just the bullet with the same powder and powder charges. All right. God bless everybody. CW out.